Bitcoin holding 111,000, but the fear index is creeping back into the market. Ethereum slipping and wobbly at 4,300, and traders are starting to whisper, could this be the setup for the next altcoin season, or are we staring at a bigger breakdown? Welcome back, crypto crew. It's your boy Tom here, bringing you the hottest in crypto and Bitcoin action. If you like what you see, come on over here and give us a like. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, come on over to X and follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin, crypto all day, every day. All right, let's get right into it, okay? I'm going to start off the chart today with our chart with the don't close below levels. But here, this market is freaking boring. It is like watching paint dry right now, and it's a very dangerous time. The reason why I say this is because boredom breeds people to become fidgety. This market is trying to shake you out right now. More people dump good positions out of boredom because they let their mind run. Oh my goodness, it's not moving. It's probably going to break down, and they play all these scenarios in their head. I've seen it happen on trading desks all the time. This is the time you just got to stick to your trading system. Okay? If your trading system's got you long and you got your stop in, there's nothing to do. Go to the beach. Go take a walk the dog. Don't fall privy to the silly nonsense that runs in your head. The negative self-talk is real easy. Okay, so I'm just saying right now, the market's boring, and we just got to wait for the market to decide to move. Markets take their time and go in places. That's just what they do. All right, so if we look at this don't close below chart, all right, these were the levels we put out on July 19th, and they're back in play right now. We had the original area, like don't close below 115.7. After we made the high here, we punched down through it. Actually, the first high, punched down through it, came back up, made a higher high. Here's that famous double top that's in play right now. Real easy to see in hindsight. But, once we broke this low, we knew that we were dipping lower, right? Because you got the high, you got a low, you got a higher high. And then you break this, you got a potentially to go down to a lower low, which has happened. So the levels that we have right now are 109, 106. The main level is that 105. That's the level that needs to be defended right now, right below this 106, 104.6, 105. If that breaks, we're opening up 100,000. That's just simply the way it is. But right now, Bitcoin's holding steady right around 111,000. Intraday high has only been 111.3. It's forming some decent support right around 110,000, right? So if we come over to this level, come over to this chart, we can look at the trend line breakout. Had the nice trend line breakout. We got the retest a little bit. We didn't even come down to test the line. Generally, a lot of times this would be deeper, and you would come down, you actually test the old resistance line acting as support for a takeoff. Hasn't happened, so it's actually coiling. Bitcoin is actually coiling right in this area right here. It's actually doing the coil before it either does one of those or it does one of these, and we're thinking it's doing one of these. All right, but we're watching our levels. Get into our pro group. We'll guide you through it. We talk about this stuff all the time. If you're really a maniac and you can't stand not 1 minute about talking markets, well, come on into our group. We do it all the time. We do it all day. We got a lot of maniacs in there that want to talk about crypto all day, every day, and that's fine. That's what we're here for. So we see the trend line break. Let me get rid of this stuff here because Frank hates when I leave a mess on his charts. So let me just clean it up before we get to the next chart. I know that's a little bit bad, but anyway. So right now, as we're standing, momentum is cooling. But here's the thing. The key takeaway is that the rate cut expectations already priced in. I told you this yesterday. Really, it's all going to be technicals from now on. Don't it's already priced in until we get next month, and but we could start all that nonsense over again, or whatever economic numbers that we want to fixate on. But really, I honestly believe everything is in the chart already. Okay, so you got the bullish crossover down here, you got the breakout of the trend line. So this is showing potentially bullish movement. It's not full blown bull; it's still neutral. But Bitcoin is still neutral. So we need basically a break. I've been saying this level forever. We're going to get into the the 2-hour chart in a second, but actually let's get into the 2-hour chart right now. Let's not take too much time. Let's come on over to the 2-hour chart and let's check it out. We need to get above the meridian here, and I'm going to say I've been talking about this level 112.8 for the longest time. We need to get over 112.8, okay, and we need to hold now. The new low that we need to hold is we had this point down here at 110. We slipped down a little bit. Not too much, but still, I don't like that we did break it, because for me, that means that we're going to have to do a little bit more chop. This is a level that needs to hold 111, and we definitely have to get through 112,008. Now, main support sits on this whole thing. We got first level of like warning level is right here at 109. 109 breaks. We could go a little bit deeper down to the 108.4. If that level breaks, there's that main support at 107. Now, I'm not a naysayer or a doomsayer. I'm just pointing out the levels, okay? So these are the levels short-term traders would be looking at. Right now, as it stands, we have this new. We look at market structure real quick. We got a high, we got a low, we got a higher high right now, and we have kind of descending lows here. Not too much, but still a descending low. If we, there's, I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, there's like a wave pattern you could look at. If you connect these. Actually, hang on, maybe I'll do it for you. Since it's a boring Sunday, let's have fun with numbers. Okay, let's just have fun with numbers. Okay, hang on. Let me set it up for you. All right. So there is a theory. Okay, and a theory obviously is not reality, okay? And there's an old Wall Street joke, and I'll tell you the joke because, like I said, it's a Sunday, and what the heck? So please, it's a Wall Street joke, all right? Since we're a trading room, we could tell some type of off-color remarks, and this joke is not that bad, but it's if you're sensitive to things, just pull the volume down. You don't want the kids to hear it or whatever. But anyway, so here's the joke. A kid comes home from school, and his father's a Wall Street trader. And he says to his dad, "I got to write a report, Dad, on the difference between a theory and reality." So the father says, "Oh, that's simple." He goes, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I want you to go to your sister, and I want you to ask your sister, for $10 million, would she sleep with Sloppy Jim up the block?" So the kid goes, he asks his sister, "Hey, Jill, $10 million, would you sleep with Sloppy Jim up the block?" She says, "Yeah, for $10 million, yeah." So the kid comes back, reports to his father, "Yeah, my sister said yes." He goes, "Well, I want you to go to your mother. I want you to ask your mother the same question." So a kid goes to his mom. His mom goes, "Well, $10 million, that would help a lot." And I would ask your father, but I'm thinking, yeah, I would do that. So he comes back to his dad. Goes, Mom said, yeah. She said that you would probably agree with something like that, and because the money would really help. He goes, "Well, there's your report right there." So the kid goes, I don't understand. He says, "Well," he goes, "in theory, we're millionaires. In reality, we live with two hoes." That's the joke. All right. Hope you got a little snicker out of that. But anyway, so difference between theory and reality. So there's a wave pattern that generally suggests that when you have descending lows, and you would need 3 of them to actually try to figure out a target point, right? So we have, now this is a 2-hour chart, right? So it's the minutia of things. But anyway, you have a low here, you have a lower low. You would connect those and you would extrapolate moving forward where the next level of support should be. Now, if the market does turn, it should find support right around 109,007. Okay. Now, it would mean that this top is a projection top. So what that means is you would take the low here and you would draw a line between this low, project out into the forward future to look at a target point of where the market should gravitate to take profits. So here it is. Let me get to array here. So we don't know right now if this is, we don't know if this is point 0.4, because look, this would be point 0.1, this would be point 0.2, this would be point 0.3, point 0.4 would be the rally off of 2, point 0.5 would be the rejection off of this down into here, which we would say would be the next movement upward. But we could do this. We can go like this, and we can cut through right there, and we would say, okay, a return back down to 109.8, 109.5, 109.6, like that, would be a good buy area with a very, very tight stop loss on it. And you'd be looking for the marketplace to rally back up to 111. So this is a short-term way of looking at a wave pattern. And like I said, it's a theory in the market. So you need descending lows, and you need 3 of them, but you could try to project the third point, which would be 0.5 down here. So the count goes like this: low, rally off of the low. So this is 0.1, rally off of the low is 0.2, a breakdown beyond the original 0.1 low is 0.3. The rally off of 0.3 is 0.4. The failure up here would be the movement back down to here would be 0.5. That would be okay, that's where I got to get, got to look to get long with a tight stop. Okay. And, the thing with it is that, like I said, it's a theory, is that this thing could actually break through this area, come down to this area, and it's still fine, because it's still okay, but you could get chopped up doing it. So I figured Sunday, why not have some fun with numbers? So we're doing the chart work. Let's talk about theory. Hope I didn't offend anybody with the Wall Street joke. But anyway, let's move on. Okay, so right now we have this level right here that, needs to basically hold. Or, it could dip down into here, even potentially here, and that would be a point level 5 to look for projection back up for a short-term long to escape at like 112 or so, right? But if we go over to Bitcoin and we look at Bitcoin historically, like 217 versus 2025, we had the same fake out, same breakout. The only difference this time, it's 27 times bigger. So what we're looking for is a super cycle moment in crypto that everyone dreams about, right? So it's starting to form. It's not happened yet. We are in a bit of a morass, a quagmire. It's just market is dull, but we're really looking for, the market to take off. But if we look at the ribbons, Bitcoin ribbons, EMA ribbons, and what we're looking at here is we need to reclaim the zone, the upper zone. And that would, the upside would ignite once we claim it. Now, if we fail, downward pressure is going to accelerate. Now, this is the battleground that's happening right now. Okay, really, there's nothing to do, really, in unless those levels, the lower levels get broken, and then we're going to have a new look. But right now, there's really nothing to do. We're looking if we can reclaim the up EMA, right around 113, 114, I'm saying 112.8, we can get that rocket move that we're looking upward, but as I said, right now Bitcoin is going to decide its next leg now. So this is where patient, meets opportunity. You got to watch closely. If you're wobbly about this, you're going to want to get into our pro group. All right, let's look at Ethereum. And first, let me take you over to WEX, the broker of our choice. Complete transparency, low fees, fast execution. We are long Ethereum, 4,348. Right now it's 4,288. We're down small, 27.59. We are long H bar. We're still taking it on the chin on HBAR. We're going to get that. We'll get an HBAR rally when Ethereum rallies and XRP rallies off of 283. So, we're holding tight with that. Again, we're totally transparent. We show you every one of our trades. We're very patient and we let the market work its way out. Generally, we are right. Okay. But got about 80% accuracy level, since we started posting our trades, which is great. All right, so let's go on over to Ethereum itself. All right, let's check out Ethereum, and there's my Ethereum right there. So if we look at Ethereum right now, it's currently like kind of wobbly, just above 4,300, showing relative weakness compared to Bitcoin right now. And we're going to get into Bitcoin, dominance in a second. But sentiment has been shaken by bearish calls. Some people are claiming that Ethereum is dying, but historically, Ethereum has thrived in periods of doubt. I mean, Ethereum's dying, really? I mean, come on. The key support right now sits at 4,000. Short-term resistance, 4,500. Breaking above the zone could restore the confidence really fast. If we look at 2021 versus 2025, we look at Bitcoin versus Ethereum, 2021 versus 2025, we could see triple RSI, the falling wedge breakout, result a 5x rally. Fast forwarded in Ethereum, right now it's playing the same script. Same signal, same setup. The difference, Wall Street's watching this coin. BlackRock, Fidelity, State Street, Vanguard, they're all watching it. If you missed Bitcoin back in 2021, your second chance is with Ethereum right now. So what's the levels that we need to break in Ethereum. Let me take you over to those levels right here. The levels we need to break right now, 4,500 to start the party. Okay, we are testing this neckline right here, or this support line right here. Okay, again, this is where the market's trying to fool you. This is like the fourth bottom attempt. If you look down here, bottom 1, bottom 2, bottom 3, breakout. So if we can recover from this and we can get above the 4,500, we're well on our way. All right, because we know Ethereum is really in a launch zone. Look at it right here. We got a broadening wedge, right? The last time it happened, it was a 20x rally. We got the same pattern that's happening right now. Ethereum isn't just consolidating, it's calling for a much bigger move. And that's what's happening. When Ethereum breaks out, it's going to hit 6,000 real fast, real fast. All right, so let's look at Bitcoin dominance, right? And I also want to check good old fear and greed. Let's come on over to F&G. Let's see what F&G is doing. Fear and greed, 44. All right, so not completely fearful, but not exactly exuberant either. So we're really kind of neutral, right? So let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Got Bitcoin dominance sitting at 58.61. Not totally, full-blown shakeout of Bitcoin yet, but with fear rising across the board, we could see that. Go back to fear and greed for a second. Let me just show you that right here. Fear and greed, like right here, this is kind of showing that some traders are stepping back from riskier bets. But with Bitcoin dominance still, below 60, it's leaving the door open for altcoins to grab flows if Bitcoin stays steady. So that's the most important thing. Today's standouts, we had WLFI, surged 9%, reigniting chatter about alt season. Tokens like BNB, Chainlink, and Bonk are also catching some attention. But this is the big picture. It can go two ways. Fear either accelerates and we trace lower, or sideline money rotates into altcoins, sparking some breakout rallies. And we have a cup and handle pattern that's formed, right? So Bitcoin did it first. Both of these charts printed cup and handles. The altcoin handle is almost complete. This is the kind of breakout really that starts to move cycles. We think if you miss this now, you're going to be chasing 10x higher. And we know that the rotation is live. If we come over to look at Bitcoin rotation, we know that this is live, okay? Bitcoin's bouncing with some force. Every cycle, this chart was the green light for alt season, okay? It's impossible to ignore. Now, strong hands are going to rotate now. Weak hands are going to, chase later. So if you look at altcoins, at Bitcoin, Bitcoin versus altcoins, altcoins versus Bitcoin, right? This isn't a classic. Okay, in 2018 we had the top. 2021 we had the bottom. 2022 we got a top. 2025 we got a bottom. This is classic textbook. All right, every bottom has been ignition point for alt season. So if the script holds, it's going to really, really melt faces. Now, we also have to pay attention to. I've been pointed to that. There's a lot of scam activity on the rise again. NFT rug pulls, phishing attacks, fake airdrops, classic. It is a classic sign of retail, interest heating back up when this stuff starts to happen. But you got to stay sharp out there, man. Protect your bags, trade smart, don't get caught chasing hype. Don't do it. All right. So before we wrap up today, crew, I want to just make sure that you're well aware of our trading community. It's going to be in the description right here. You come over, you click this link, you'll be taken over to a site where you could copy your trades, get into our live pro group. We got, insane alpha and trading opportunities daily for you there. You want to follow us on our trusted broker of choice, you come on over to here, you click this link, you'll be taken over to WEX, the broker of our choice, low fees, fast execution. And I'll be happy to show you this when we're big in the money in Ethereum and HBAR, that's for sure. All right, so one last chart. You know something? One last chart. Let's look at U.S. dollar token. Hang on a second here. Looking at the U.S. dollar dominance here. All right. We could see it's starting to roll over. It's in a textbook descending triangle. Every dollar leaves stables is buying pressure for Bitcoin and altcoin. This pattern only ends in one way. Money is going to flow back into risk assets. We just got to be patient. So the next major crypto leg could be loading if we're looking at this. Okay, if we see that breakdown like we're seeing. So the big question is, do you see fear push Bitcoin and Ethereum lower, or is this just the calm before the alt storm? Remember, you can come on over here and you can follow us on X. And what do you got to do? Well, you got to think about joining our pro group. It's free. Just cost a small amount of money to deposit into the broker of our choice. WEX, low fees, fast execution. Don't have to do anything with it. You can always get your money back. It's no big deal. But, that's a place if you want to follow our trades, you can. And you get into the live group. What else you have to do? Well, you got to do your own research. And what else? You got to trade with your head, not over it. And always, as a short-term trader, you got to enjoy the party, but dance near the door. I'll see you tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the joke. Feel free to use it at the bar. Cheers.